What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Titans sector. If you are a Titans fan, this is the place to be. The takes are hot, the passion is real, and the opinions are sure to collide. As always, I'm joined over here by my man Ghost. My name is Van, and today we're going to be talking about the sophomore surge potential for three second-year Tennessee Titan offensive studs, and that would be Gunnar Helm, Alec Iamaner, and Chim DK. We're going to talk about the historical pattern of second season breakouts from other NFL tight ends and wide receivers. Try to look at all three of these guys scheme fit under Brian Daboll's offense and who is poised to have the biggest potential for a sophomore surge. Now, before we get rolling today, I want to remind you guys to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We certainly appreciate it and hope you guys appreciate the content we put out. All right, Ghost. So with all of that behind us, talk to me about Gunnar Helm. We're going to start with the tight end out of Texas.
All right, man. Go ahead and bring this up. So Gunnar Helm. First off, let's just start with his rookie production. Gunnar Helm started his year or his career with 44 catches, 357 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not elite, but not bad, considering how hard it is to get started in the NFL as a tight end, because you're kind of playing two positions. You're a little bit of like a lineman, and you're also a receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're kind of doing two jobs there. I know as far as I'm concerned, I thought Gunnar Helm, I thought they were slow to kind of go that route. I thought he started to show some like flashes that might have been like, hey, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
let's push him. Let's give him.
Let's get him a little bit more. Yeah,
and he even started to fade a little bit. You know what I mean? It seemed like they started using him less, and it was a rocky season. Different coaches.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Iamaner. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I do think Gunnar Helm could see a sophomore surge. I think he's very polished. I think he's probably one of the best looking all around tight ends we've had for a long time, not including Delaney Walker, because
Delaney,
the man.
Delaney's the GOAT, man.
Maybe he gets there. Maybe Helm gets there. But
that'd be
I was excited when we drafted him, to be honest with you,
because
whenever I was like watching his highlights and stuff like that. Also, I saw him play the Buckeyes as well, and he's just sure-handed, man. And who doesn't want that for your quarterback, especially your young quarterback like Cam Ward?
Yeah, man, I agree. Like Gunnar Helm, I was so excited and actually shocked that we picked him up in the 4th round, because as an SEC fan, I'd watched a lot of him at Texas. Not a Texas fan, but I'd seen a lot of him and just knew that the raw athleticism and skill and talent that was there. I'm really excited about Gunnar going into season 2, and I agree with you. But if you look at these stats over here, 44 catches, 357, 2 touchdowns, and that's behind Chigakonkwo last year, who was the leading receiver, for the team. So it's like when you think about it from that veil, and you see a rookie tight end put up 44 receptions, I actually think that says a lot about Gunnar's potential. And you even mentioned under a different offensive scheme, as I watched the games last year, I didn't love what they were doing with Gunnar at all times, but what I liked is as the season progressed and in the latter half of the season, he started to show a connectivity with Cam Ward that was a bit stronger and a bit different. And we saw that in games like against the 49ers on the road and some other things. So, I think with Daboll, it's going to be a match made. I think it's going to be a match made because Daboll really utilized the tight ends well in Buffalo. And maybe we can go into that in a little bit when we look at these stats. But I'm super excited for what Gunnar Helm can do.
He's sneaky athletic, man.
He is, He's crazy athletic.
He just doesn't like pop off the page. You know what I mean? When you see a Chigakonkwo or Delaney Walker, they look like Mr. Universe out there. Like they can go play defensive end. I'll never forget, by the way, side note, when Delaney Walker got his helmet ripped off and he got in that guy's face and the guy headbutted him and he didn't move.
He didn't flinch, man.
Dude, he didn't even budge. I don't even think he had a mark on him. I was like, geez, man. So side note, little divergence there. But like I said, Gunnar Helm, he doesn't really pop off the page on you like physically or whatever. He kind of looks kind of like svelte, you know what I mean? Compared to some tight ends, but man,
a little leaner.
He gets out there. He's got, like I said, good hands and seems to be dependable. I just hope they can maybe double those stats. That'd be good.
Yes. Well, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, we'll see who has
Absolutely.
the most potential. So, in regards to, let's talk about Gunnar Helm in comparison to some other season 2 tight ends that have come out in like the past 10 years or so. And as you guys watching with us, you can see we have 3 comparisons here from year 1, year 2, and also increases. So, Ghost, hit us up on some of these and what you think about what we're looking at in comparison to what Gunnar could do in season 2.
Yeah, I think George Kittle, man, 43 catches, 515, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty similar to what he had. And is that like an indicator of like what the future will hold? No, I don't think so.
Right.
Especially when you look at year 2 for George Kittle, 1,377 yards. That's kind of crazy. That's definitely an outlier. However, I think as you start to look at other year 1 versus year 2s, you start to see like, hey, maybe that's the kind of production that gets somebody to unlock and hit the ground running in year 2. So you look at Trey McBride, year 1, 29 catches, 265 yards and a touchdown. Year 2, 81 catches, 825 with 3 touchdowns. Now that seems like something that's like feasible. And that seems like something that would really, really help a Titans team if they could get that kind of production from the tight end position.
100%. And, I don't have it off the top of my mind, so sorry to everybody out there watching, but if you want to look it up, feel free. But Chico Conco, again, how many receptions did he have in 2025? And he led the team. So I understand we brought in Bellinger, and he comes from Dable's system. So, yeah, but they're going to have plenty of utilization. And if the season goes the way we all want it to go, then that means there's going to be touches to go around. Not everybody's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we're going to have utilization from the tight ends in this system, in this scheme, without a doubt. So I could see that increase, right? For Trey, you're looking at 52 catches, 560 yards. Like you said, I think that's a very obtainable goal for a healthy Helm through the season.
Absolutely. Even David Njoku here. He started out 32 catches, 386 with 4 touchdowns. His year 2 is 56, 639, and 4 touchdowns. Not quite what Trey McBride had. Obviously, we're stair-stepping down here. But I still don't even think that we would kind of scoff at that. If that's what the year 2 breakout looks like, I think we're all pretty happy, especially if we see some of the increases that we anticipate across the board.
Yeah, I would agree. I think for me personally, if I saw an Njoku type jump from 1 to 2, would I be happy? Yeah, because you're not going backwards, right? You're not disappearing. Right. You're not regressing. But at the same time, if that was Helm's numbers, then the rest of the offense has to be killing it, right? Oh, yeah. I would want to see other production and other players have big years and big numbers to offset it and see that Helm did his role good. One thing I wanted to bring up about Brian Dable, right? So when he was in Buffalo, he had Dawson Knox. And Dawson Knox, I've got this stat here. He had 49 catches in 2021 for 587 yards, but 9 touchdowns. 9 touchdowns on 49 catches. And you look at that in comparison to Njoku, 56 catches, 4 touchdowns. So, Dable under that system wasn't feeding him volume necessarily as much as he was getting him opportunities and utilizing him in the red zone. And I think that Gunnar Helm is a huge red zone opportunity and a red zone weapon for this team. We saw flashes of it last year, that catch and contested catch he made against Atlanta in the preseason, right? I believe it was, with Brandon Allen tossing it to him. But I think because he has such good hands, man. He's got strong hands. He's high. He's vertical to the ball. And, that's a huge weapon. What do you think about his potential for red zone opportunities this year increasing?
Yeah, we were actually talking. If you look at his Texas stats, so he had 60 receptions with 8 touchdowns. That's pretty good.
Very similar to Knox.
Here's the crazier thing about that, and you found this, is for comparison, is most tight ends catch 1 touchdown every 12 to 15 catches. And you found out that his is 1 every 7.5. So if they can capture that or recapture that in this Titans offense, man, he may see that 9 or 10 touchdown season.
Yeah, I think that Helm has a huge opportunity. And golly, man, if he came out and was George Kittle 2.0, we'd all lose our minds, But obviously, for those of you out there that are listening and watching this, we understand, okay, that there's more to the story statistically over here than just the hard stats. It could be wide receivers that were on that team at the time, injuries that happened that forced catches and production like Trey McBride in Arizona. It could be quarterbacks. There's a lot of things. So this is just a base level statistical comparison for season 2 jumps at the position over the last decade or so of the NFL. And I think it does serve us as a good picture to what we could get. Do you got anything else you want to add with Gunner before we move on to number 2?
No, but I'm probably going to gasp on this next one because
man, that's
look
tough.
at that helmet, bro. Oh my God. I don't want to get us distracted. But would you look at it? Bro.
Pause the podcast.
Bro, every time I see it, like I was like, I'm using that picture.
You know, for any and you know, I'm a relative Star Wars fan. I mean, not a huge. I'm not like I don't dress up and go to Comic-Con. But that gives me Star Wars vibes. You know, I don't know why, but something about that is like, you know, the Dark Lord or something's happening over here. It's pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
So Ghost, break us down with Alec Iomanner's rookie production.
Alec Iomanner, 41 catches, 515 yards, and 4 touchdowns, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't realize he passed Jim. Until I started like creating these graphics. I was like, wait a minute, he ended up passing them.
Well, there's so much noise with DK last year.
Oh, yeah, man, all pro. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to overshadow. Plus, I will get into that. But no, yeah. So Alec, I think his flashes looks like he could easily be, I mean, in some cases, like a number 1. If you like watch some of his catches, like his acrobatic catches, the one from Ward across the body, across the field, that one-handed catch out in front of him down the sideline. Like there was a flash at the bum, like where he got his butt in, you know, wasn't a catch, but it was absolutely a catch.
Yeah, 2 cheeks.
You're right,
you know?
Right. It's just like you see those things. And then the drop off was the coaching change. And don't know if you heard, we've had another coaching change. And I don't think that Dabo's going to be naive to that. I don't think he's going to see some of that and not try to utilize it in some way. So I'm very excited about Alec Iomanner. I just think he's big and physical and fast, man. He's just like checks all those boxes you want him to check.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, before we drafted Carnell Tate, he was like the X guy on our roster. You know, when you look at a traditional X dude, that would be Alec. And now, obviously, with Tate, we have somebody that can stretch the field and be that X guy as well, which we all should love. You know, for Alec specifically, man, you know, this guy was absolutely like pedigreed. Even though he's 4th round, there was a lot of people that said he went a little later than expected. He comes from Stanford. He is a smart dude. When I've watched so much tape on him, interviews on him from the time he came into the building as a rookie, and he was doing the whole get to the meeting rooms early with Cam Ward, dedicated to the culture, the mission. He's everything, and he's shown everything to this fan base and organization that you want. Okay. I think he struggled with confidence, if I'm being honest, in year 1. And there was also an interview late in the season. I don't remember if it was a locker room or maybe it was during the week. I can't remember. But he was asked a question about dealing with rookie fatigue in his rookie season, coming off a college season, then to an NFL combine, so on and so forth. And he did admit, like, hey, I'm tired. You know, it's exhausting. You have to kind of learn the NFL life, the schedule, how to retrain your mind and your body, know when to rest. Wait, all of that stuff.
Rock, paper, scissors didn't get them through that? I thought that was the whole point.
You know, after that emotional high, it was a crash, man. I just go ahead and tell you, we lost all those as well. All right. That was probably a bad joke. But here's the thing, man. Alec, man, he has a lot of potential. He did make some absolutely ridiculous plays and catches. He kept plays alive. Yes, he had his share of mistakes. Routes run wrong, drops, concentration, focus issues. But I feel like for the most part, the Titan fan base kind of forgot about some of the good he did. So I'm excited to talk about Alec moving into season 2. So let's talk about some of those comparables. Ghost, what do we got on Alec? Are we going to go to Chim on this one? We are, aren't we?
We could, and then talk about the comparisons because since they're both receivers, we can
Yeah,
jump
let's do
through the
that.
stats of the comparisons. So, Chim, everybody loves Chim, right? All
Yeah.
pro, featured in the uni reveal.
Yeah, man.
Seems like a really cool guy. I think everybody. I guess that deserves a call out too. I think everybody we've talked about are perfect fits for what Borg is trying to build here. I don't think there's any question about that. And
Absolutely.
DK is no exception.
Yeah.
The special team stuff is the special team stuff. It kind of goes without saying. The first time I saw him bust one off, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot what this felt like. Dude. And then he started cranking them off. I think he had 3. I think he had 3 last year.
Yeah, and he had one called back.
Oh yeah. I thought that one was kind of a yes, but
we all should have.
Was that the Cedric Gray block?
Yes.
I think it was the Cedric Gray block. Yeah, that was a little tick-tacky, but whatever.
Yeah.
So about Shamir, I think he's super fast. I think he was our only like viable deep threat, and he was honestly there for a little bit, the only one catching passes. So I think everybody was struggling with that, and then Ridley went down. Don't know what that is. Yeah, and I don't know exactly what that is. I don't know if that was a coaching issue, because I mean, you heard about Ridley on the jugs after every week. He's on the jugs. Ridley's on the jugs, and I think it's a little bit was coaching, but I also you hear Wandale this year talking in OTAs. I think he was talking to Kay Adams. Is that her name?
Yeah.
So
Adams.
Yeah. He was talking to her, and he was talking about you better have your head around because the ball's going to be there. Right. And I think that is part of it. I don't know that they didn't. Maybe, like I said, maybe coaching they didn't focus on that, or like help build that chemistry or that understanding that, hey, you better be on time and where you need to be with your head around because that ball's coming in. But I mean, that's exactly what we saw all year last year. It's just like by the time they got their head around, the ball was there and it was bouncing off their chest or something like that. Yeah. But there for a while, you didn't see that with DK. But I love DK. I wonder if with Dabble, this might be a hot take. I wonder if A.O. Manor doesn't surpass DK on the wide receiver side, get a little more attention. I think Helm is going to elevate a little bit. And I think Chim might, he'll always be our special teams guy, right? He's all pro in that area. But I think he might settle in right there in the like 3 spot. Or you know what I mean? I don't think Ridley's a forever option, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a solid take. Look, before I say anything, I want to let everybody know I've never been an NFL wide receiver, but every week I try to spend time on the jugs. I'm just saying. Yeah. Every week, I'm a consistent dude. So you gotta have good hands, man. You gotta have good hands.
It's his favorite rep right there.
Soft hands. Listen, I couldn't agree more with you in what you said about Chim. Like he clearly had some drops. There were some pretty big ones that made you feel. But this Titans team was always coming from behind in games. They were always under pressure. The offense was always trying to push, right? Cam was trying to push to create plays and make things happen and move the ball down the field and get the team back in the game because we had JV defense out there. And I think that to be fair to these guys, I understand, right? If you're an NFL pro, you have expectations. If you're 10 to 12 games in the season, you shouldn't be dropping balls that hit you in the hands or the chest.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys were under a lot of pressure. They were the top 2 guys out there, and they were both 4th-round rookies. To DK's point, man, what an astounding, electrified year as a returner. It was fun to watch. It was fun to be a part of. It's one that every Titans fan is going to remember for decades that's been a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just haven't seen it. Like you said, I was like, holy cow. I was thinking of Pac-Man Jones flashbacks. And, and that says a lot. So I'm excited to see what DK will do. But I think the point that you bring up about the potential for his curve flattening out in year 2 is probably higher than Alec or Gunner.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on. Let's look at those comparables on wide receivers.
Give me a second here. A little technical difficulty. Bingo.
There
Michael Pittman. So with Michael Pittman, we got 40 catches, 503 yards, and a touchdown. Year 2, doubled the catches, doubled the yards, a little bit more, and 6 touchdowns. So 6x on the touchdowns. God, I hate Michael Pittman.
Well, I think it's I don't
keep
like
my biases out of it.
Oh no, are you kidding me? This is a fully biased podcast. Yeah, we embrace our bias. I don't like Pittman, and I can't stand the Colts, and he moved to another team that I can't stand, the Steelers. So everything's kosher, everything's great. But yeah, that's a big jump, from Michael Pittman year 1 to year 2. Literally doubled his production in touchdowns. It was even more than that. Now, to make this small point before you say anything to his statistics, we're looking at this, for everybody watching, we're looking at this in the lens of Alec and Chim.
Yes, both of them. As wide receivers, kind of like.
As wide receivers, right? For the sake of this conversation, we consider the special teams aspect of Chim, but it's completely kind of arbitrary. It's just over here in its own section. However, I can say when you're looking at these, look at the body type, look at how they were utilized in that offense. Pittman, to me, seems to kind of align more with Alec and his skill set. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah, I don't like with Chim being like a speed guy. I think you're right in that take that he kind of tracks more with him. Now, Nico Collins, he is one. This is an interesting one to add. Yes. So with Nico Collins in year 1, had 33 catches, 446 yards, and 1 touchdown. Which, by the way, some of these year 1s, when I was making the graphics, sometimes I was like, did I copy and paste one? Because like some of them are so close. It's kind of funny, like how like they track out.
How
like,
similar?
Similar. But what you see in year 2 on Nico Collins was 37 catches, 481, 2 touchdowns. I think the important part here is, and what we say there at the end, is not all breakouts happen immediately.
Yeah.
And what they didn't do is tap out on him just because of that. So I think it's important to point out that if Chim or Manor have a repeat type season and then they top out at like 350, 400 yards or whatever, 2 or 3 touchdowns, I don't think we should give up on them, because if you look at year 3 for Nico, we're looking at 80 catches, 1,297 yards, and 8 touchdowns. I don't know what clicked. I don't know.
Well, that could have been CJ Stroud.
It's CJ Stroud and Tank Dell going down, maybe. I don't know. But that's crazy. That's a huge jump. And imagine if they got rid of him, like offloaded him. You know what I mean? So there's this like fine line between too soon to get rid of them or tap out. Like, you just got to be careful with that.
Well, to your point, before you move to Sutton, to your point, you make a good point for all Titans fans. Number one, don't give up on a second-year receiver. But moving into year 3, if we don't move on, and I think Ridley's going to be on this team. I think he is. I think he's there unless something happens on trade deadline. But next season, is he on this team? That's a pretty big question. And if Ridley isn't there, then that opens up a spot for obviously competition to come in. But it opens up a spot for one of these guys to continue their growth path. So just wanted to put that in. Go ahead and move on to Cortland here.
Yes, Cortland Sutton, we're looking at 42 catches, 704 yards, and 4 touchdowns in year 1. That's a pretty good year 1, if we're being honest. Yeah. So, but if you move on to year 2, even better. 72 catches, 1,112 yards, 6 touchdowns. So I think what you can extrapolate from this stuff is not like, oh, look, their year 1s look great, so obviously their year 2 is going to look great. Sure. You know what I mean? I don't think that we can assume that. But I think what you can see is it's promising that they showed these flashes and they had some production. And I think you can take from that some confidence that we're not like slamming the door on a possible outbreak in year 2.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've looked at the comparable stats. Now let's talk about Alec, we'll start with him and move to Chim, and just regards maybe brief statements on how we feel like they fit into the scheme. So I'll rock and roll here on this one and start with Alec. For me, Alec is a big physical receiver, right? And he's strong at the point of contact. He's good against press man coverage. He's physical. We all saw what he did to a cornerback like Travis Hunter on that one huge standout game, Stanford versus Colorado, on a primetime game on ESPN. It was crazy. I watched it live just because I watch football so much, and I was amazed at what that guy was doing. And honestly, from all we've seen out of OTAs, it looks like this guy's gotten even in better shape, which blows me away. He's still just as strong. He's kind of almost like he's slender, a little bit more slender, which might help with his short burst, his immediate speed, his separation, which I think at times last year suffered. And then last point before I turn it to you for some of your context is that in season 2, when we have added Wan'Dale Robinson as a legitimate, sure-handed slot weapon and Carnell Tate as someone who defenses are going to be planning for, he'll either get the cornerback 1 or 2, most likely the 1, and that Dable's going to absolutely scheme into this offense. That opens it up for Alec to be able to get either a cornerback 2 or cornerback 3 and take advantage of some mismatches on that boundary and be a strong receiver that can go up and make plays.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, Dabble. I think Dabble brings an element into this that have not had or seen for a long time since like maybe Arthur Smith, that ability to scheme people up. You know what I mean? Like scheme people open. And I kind of salivate at the idea of thinking of our offense as it is. Like, even as is, let's just think of what they did last year. Helm, A.O. Manor, and DK.
Yeah.
And then we brought in Tate, who can easily, at the very least, he's an NFL caliber deep threat right now. You know what I mean? So we got him out wide. You got A.O. Manor, big, strong guy. They're all versatile. They can really play every wide receiver position. But let's say we got A.O. Manor out left. That leaves DK. Or you got Wan'Dale in the slot. You got Tyjae in the back. Maybe you've got some DK on some kind of gadget or something. We've never been that versatile ever.
Absolutely.
And that kind of like athleticism across the field. You know what I mean? Like the last time we even sniffed anything like that was Henry Davis, Corey Davis, and AJ
Brown.
You know what I mean? And even when we won that, it was on physicality. Like
100%.
You know what I mean? They're not like, we didn't see to have this kind of speed and stuff like that. Not that those guys are slow. I don't want that to be like twisted, but it was different. It was like a different concern from defenses. Like this, it's like you're with Dabble and you like factor in Dabble into that whole thing. I didn't even mention Helm in that conversation. You know what I mean? And Ridley, like I said, I think we said in another pod, like, if Ridley settles in as your 3 and you see some like, I don't remember having that kind of depth at skill positions on the offense. You know
Absolutely
what I mean?
agree.
And I'm just excited to see what it looks like. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to help everybody. I think it's going to help the offensive line. I think it's going to help Cam. I think we're going to score more points. And I'm just excited to see it all kind of how it clicks. You know what I mean? Because I don't think we know exactly what our offense will look like. Because I'm pretty sure Dabble's one of those OCs who draws it up as the week goes, and it feels like for the team you're playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I know one thing's for sure: we better score more than 28 points. Like that's been a curse on our team, and even like Dabble even did it with the Giants, and I think less talent. If I'm being honest, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. For me on DK's side. Talking about DK's fit in this scheme, I'm kind of excited to see what DK can do. I'm also a little excited to see what Dable does with DK because I'll be the first to admit it's a bit of a wild card for me. Like DK is clearly talented. The thing that I love about him is he shows an intelligence when it comes to his route running and his ability to not only be open for Cam, to understand when Cam and the play breaks down to then cut his route off or change it, as we saw in the Kansas City game, right? Whenever Cam was on the 50-yard line, rolled over to his left and threw that dime down on the left sideline to DK. But, you know, he also was a really nicely utilized red zone weapon for us last year. We ran a lot of those gadgety type plays, motion plays, where it allowed him to get open on these little 2-yard, 3-yard type touchdown passes. We also saw his speed at the across the middle in the open. So granted, I get it's a different offensive system, but my point is to the ability that DK has as a player. Now, I think if this offense and players and roster, to your point, the depth, I think if it goes as it should, then my concern is how much will we see DK, right? Where is his utilization at on the field in comparison to a Wandell or a Ridley when you have Tate and Iomanner out there? So that's the part that I come up a little more cautious on DK's potential at being the top sophomore surge out of these 3 candidates this year.
You think they might shift him more to special teams or something like that? Like maybe he won't even see the field in actual drives and stuff like that? No,
I think he'll see the field because I think he's too much of a weapon, and I think we see it in OTAs. We saw it today, guys. We're recording it today. You'll know where, DK had like 2 touchdowns. I think one was from Trubisky, one was from Levis in OTAs. He's too much of a weapon. My point is more of the fact, and side note, honestly, I'm a little curious as to if they're going to utilize him as much on special teams. I mean, we got Nick Singleton as well. So, I don't know. He got hurt. He got absolutely drilled on that special teams play, drilled in the chest, and it took him out last year when he kind of muffed the punt. So I kind of wonder about that. My point is moreover just how they're going to utilize him. If you looked at there's 60 snaps in a game. How many is he going to be on the field for when we may very well be in 2 tight end formations? With Bellinger and Helm. So I kind of like that though, because you mentioned this earlier, the flexibility and the explosive nature of this offense at any given time is exciting.
Absolutely. And man, we got a Buckeye wide receiver. No, I couldn't help it.
That was good. I'm gonna be honest. You totally tricked me this time. I thought we made it. I thought we were clear. I thought we were in the clear.
Oh man, it's just I don't remember a time like you said, or like I said, having the depth. And I'm just excited for it, man. I'm excited for all of it.
Me too. So let's do this. Let's pull this graphic down if you can. You're our production lead over here on the Titan sector. So anybody that watches, just know that's the man. That's the graphics guy, Mr. Producer, Key Grip. He's all of them in one. So
make it till you make it.
I think the next thing, and maybe what we can roll the pot out with, put a bow on this sophomore surge conversation. I want to hear from you. Out of Gunnar Helm, Alec Iomanner, Chin DK, who were you planting a flag on this year to say, this is the guy that I think out of those 3 is going to have the biggest sophomore surge, and why?
I think, and maybe this is the safe pick, which is not my normal MO, but I think it is going to be Gunnar Helm. I think, when we saw him play, when they utilized him, he seemed to me to be already the more well-polished of the 3. I think he looks like a pro tight end. I think he is big, athletic, fast, deceptively so. And his hands are what really kind of stand out, I think, when you watch him play. He just catches everything, man. It'd be 3 feet above him. It'll hit him in his chest, out in front of him. And he really, not that I can remember at least, didn't show a lot of struggle catching a Cam Ward pass. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And he just seemed dependable. And I don't think
it's a great word.
I don't think Cam Ward is going to forget that anytime soon. You know what I mean? So I think he's going to definitely keep that in his back pocket. It seems like he's building a lot of chemistry with those new guys, Wandale, Tate, all that stuff. But I think the one most prime for a breakout if that's our question
Yeah.
next season, it's going to be Gunnar Helm.
Follow-up question. What would you like to see? We looked at comparable statistics. So if we're talking about yards, receptions, touchdowns, what would you like to see? And that would make you go, man, he broke out. This was a great year for Gunnar Helm at the end of this year.
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to push him a little bit. I'm not going to do an Njoku type stat line. I think I'm looking at 800 yards, we'll say.
Okay.
6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And man, he's a pretty decent deep threat. So I'll say like between 50 and 60 receptions.
I like it. Yeah, that's good. That averages out. So I'll take my turn. I think that out of these three, I think Alec Iomanner is the one that is most poised for his year 2 season breakout. I think it could be, right? Maybe, maybe if you guys out here are watching, you think he's safe, I'm risky, let me know. Think he's risky, I'm safe, let us know what you think. I'll tell you one thing, though. If you look at what you see, right, there's a lot of factors that some would say might be stacking up against Alec. The Carnell Tate edition, a healthy Calvin Ridley, right? Wan'Dale Robinson, the top free agent wide receiver. But what I actually think is going to happen is I think Alec has learned from his rookie season woes. I think he's learned from those mistakes. We have seen this guy on Instagram and through the offseason as an absolute grinder. When you listen to his interviews, he's a football guy. He is a smart Stanford graduate that is a studier. This is what he wants to do. And I think he's going to come out this year looking to prove something. And I think that these additions, while they will make our offensive potential more explosive and also give us more potential at scoring more points, I think they're going to take defensive pressure and defensive attention away from Alec Iomanner. And I do believe if Alec can get consistent one-on-one matchups, I think you're going to see him win at the line of scrimmage. I think you're going to see him win deep. I think you're going to see him win on the boundary. And I think the guy has a huge skill set. So, man, it's tough to disagree with your Gunnar Helm take. I'll be honest with you, because I'm a huge Gunnar Helm fan, and I think he's maybe just as poised. But for me, I think Alec Iomanner has a massive potential to break this out. So I think from a wide receiver standpoint, knowing the additional weapons that we have, I'd love to see Alec hit 900 yards. I'd like to see 7 touchdowns and somewhere around 70 receptions, 60 receptions. I think that would absolutely qualify him on that arc, right, of season 2 breakout, sophomore surge.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's have them both do that.
Yeah. Hey, that's even better.
Let's be honest. Coming into seasons, I don't think let's be honest, we're Titans fans. We're always optimistic.
True.
Dude,
True.
I just saw a post on my
True.
Facebook the other day of me being like, man, the Titans just had the best offseason. And it was like Julio Jones. It was like a bunch of pictures. I thought we did it, dude. I thought we made it. We got AJ Brown and Julio Jones, which it was a touchdown, by the way. But that's beside the point.
It was.
No, man. No, I like it. And I'm excited because I don't think we've had this much to look forward to on the offense. I think we've always had to kind of artificially make our excitement on offense. And I think we have a lot to be excited about.
That's a great point. Yeah. And I'll put it out there, man. I think Chim is an excellent player. I just think that because of his first year success, being an all-pro in the special teams and actually doing a really good job as a wide receiver, it sets him up for a little bit of a harder time to have that surge, not only from a fan expectation level, I mean, let's be honest, but also just pure production. People are going to be focused on him a little bit more on the special teams. But, hey, if anybody can do it a second season in a row, it's the combo of Bones Fossil and Chim DK. You know?
That guy, Bones, don't get me started. That guy. He puts a goal out there, and they hit it, man, every time. He's like, we're going to block a punt. And he drives them toward it, and they got it. And run it in for a touchdown. He is such a good special teams coach. I can't imagine that going worse than it did. It can only get better. You know what I mean? So that's just a different, exciting thing that's going to happen.
That man is a national treasure. Let me just say that. He really is. He's great. Well, Ghost, you got anything else before we cut it out on this episode?
I do not.
Cool. Well, listen, everybody out there watching, we certainly appreciate you guys as always. We hope you've enjoyed the content on the Sophomore Surge episode. We'd love to hear your feedback, whether that's on X through at the Titan Sector or in the comment section of the YouTube video, which would certainly help our algorithm and traffic. We'd love to talk to you there as well. Let us know your thoughts. Tell us who you think is poised to be the biggest sophomore surge between these three candidates for the Titans offensively this year. Make sure before you dip out, hit that like button, hit subscribe, share the content with somebody, a fellow Titans fan, if you think that they might enjoy it and they've never seen us before. We'd love to be able to connect with them as well. We've got some exciting content coming up on future episodes. And as a reminder, we do episodes releasing every Monday and every Thursday in the off season. And check them out, guys. We're glad to be in front of you guys every single week. With that said, thanks for tuning in to the Titan Sector. That's GhostTitan Van, and we will catch you guys next time.